Okay, there we go. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Wilderness Revolution. We have some very outstanding guests from all over the United States and to our guests from Canada for visiting in today. Thank you all. My co host Randy Joe here, and I just wanted to welcome each and every one of you because we are going through a time of a lot of chaos out there, and we need speakers such as the professionals that are here today to share with us about holistic ways to heal through plants and also our stories. Our stories matter. So, for our first speaker, we have Marilyn. Marilyn is a nurse of many, many years with all of her expertise and knowledge, and she lives the life that she is speaking about. She is a very great mentor. She's lost a lot of weight and changed many people's lives by her sharing of her knowledge and her wisdom. So, welcome to the stage, Marilyn. Go ahead and tell us about who you are and what you do.
Oh, thank you, Lise. It's such a pleasure and a blessing to be here with you all. And thank you for being a part of this journey for wellness. Wellness is such a huge umbrella, and so many things come beneath it. And so, yes, you're right. I did lose a lot of weight. I've lost 140 pounds so far. And in that process and in that journey, I've learned a lot of wellness lifestyles and I participate in wellness activities on a daily basis to keep myself well. I also believe as a nurse and a caretaker of my parents that we need to continue to take care of ourselves no matter what we're doing in life. And so today, to start, I'm going to talk a little bit about my caregiver journey, both as a nurse and as a caretaker to my elderly parents. So just to start with some facts, 26 million people in the United States, and I'm sure there's many more in Canada as well, are caring for elderly parents or loved ones. And this is not even including children, caretakers of children. And of all of those 26 million, at least a third of them are suffering with dementia. So caregivers have a great deal of pressure and a lot of responsibility on them. I have been a caretaker probably most of my life because by the age of 14, I was already the oldest of nine. So I was caring for people left and right. I was putting on bibs and giving baths and feeding and babysitting and doing all kinds of things for most of my life. So it was almost natural for me to just sort of tumble into a profession of caring, which is nursing. I've been a nurse for 38 years and I'm grateful for the profession. But I'll tell you a little story just for fun, how I sort of stumbled into nursing a little bit. I was in my early 20s and I had taken a non-conventional path. I was living with my husband and working at a fast food restaurant and a gas station. And during that time, my husband had bright red hair and he played the guitar and he taught me how to play the bass and we had a band. It was called Red, Wife and Blues, and we were going to take the nation and take the world. We were going to do all kinds of things with this band in our early 20s and that early 20s mentality. But he was having some health issues and having grand mal seizures. We found ourselves in the hospital emergency room frequently, just waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting to see what they would do. And while I was there waiting, I noticed the nurses. They were really powerful. And what was powerful about them is that nothing happened until the nurse said so, and nothing happened until the nurse said so. So I said to myself, I wonder what it would be like to be a nurse. Because if I was a nurse, I could work anywhere in the country. I could work anywhere. I could support the family. I could be a nurse. I could do it for the band, man. So that's one of the ways that I stumbled into nursing, and I continue to care for people for many years. I'm grateful for my nursing career. During the nursing career is when I lost the weight and began the holistic journey. And holistic journeys last a long time. They don't just come and go. It's a journey. It's not an end point. So I continue on my holistic journey as well. But later on in life, as expected, I was going to take care of my parents. I began taking care of my parents who lived within an hour's time of me at least a decade before they would be lost their independence. I began to get involved in their lives, and I encourage caregivers who are going to be taking care of elderly loved ones in their future to get involved early. Start going to doctor appointments, knowing what their medications are, finding out what their daily habits are, what are they missing. I began to provide food. We would provide laundry, and I would do the laundry. We'd clean the house, visited frequently. I went to all their doctor appointments. I started working part-time instead of full-time. All of these things over a long period of time provided a foundation rather than when they lost their independence, just catastrophe and what do we do? So I encourage caregivers to get involved early. But my father began to tumble, and finally I told him, you fell the right way this time, Dad. He ended up in the hospital for 2 months. My mother had Parkinson's, and she couldn't be left alone. So I moved both of my parents into my home with me to care for them. And that was some of the hardest nursing I've ever done in my life. But I'm so grateful. I have no regrets. And I loved that I had the opportunity to care for both of them and to learn what it takes to be a caregiver. That took about 5 or 6 years before they both passed. But what's interesting about this is when we are caring for others, we must care for ourselves as well because they will be passing on and leaving, and we're still going to be here. We need to continue to fill our own vessels with holistic health and wealth. That's what I call it, the wealth of health. So I did things while I was caring for my parents since I had been on this holistic journey, and I ate correctly. I ate the right food in the right quantity, and I ate organically and I was plant-based. So food was one thing that I managed. Another thing that I did was I got enough sleep. No matter what it was, I made it a priority. Toward the end, it was difficult, but we worked it out. I called in help and support and whatever it took because my mother was having some dementia at the end. It was very difficult at night. So eating and sleep, movement. I moved every day, no matter what it took. I got in a walk or some sort of exercise or something that would make me feel and tell my body, we're still here, we're still going, movement. And I also had emotional and meditative practices that supported who I was so that I didn't lose me in the caregiving process. So I didn't do it 24/7. I probably did it 22/7. So there was a little bit of time for me. And so I encourage all caregivers in the end to take care of themselves. And I have a free guide for caregivers. It's at freefrommarilyn.com. I can put that in the chat, but it's freefrommarilyn.com. It's a caregiver's guide. And I would encourage everyone to get this guide, not only for those that you love to help you and support that, but for yourself. Get it for yourself. And you know what? Get it for the band, man, too. So that's the end of my little presentation about caregiving and taking care of oneself while caring for others. But I do, if it's all right with you, have a little self-evaluation kind of quizzy thing if everyone would like to participate. If you can find something to write on, I'm going to ask you to write down some numbers that you'll add up and find out about more about yourself. Remember what I said, that caregiving is a journey. It's not an end point. We must care for others and care for ourselves. And what we need to do is what this next exercise is a guide to help us evaluate where we are. We must never compare ourselves to others, only to ourselves. So this isn't like a contest or it isn't a quiz or a test. This is awareness. Awareness of where we stand right now in our health and wellness journey, and awareness is the first step toward making a difference and changing things. So, we're going to evaluate ourselves on quantity and quality of certain categories. So the first one, it's going to be you give yourself a number from 1 to 10. 10 is excellent, couldn't be better. 1 is really just getting started, don't know anything about it. So give yourself a 1 through 10 on the quantity of food you are eating. Are you eating too frequently or not frequently enough during the day? Are you skipping meals? Are you grazing all day and then not getting the food that you need? Give yourself a 1 to 10 on how you're eating, quantity of food, and how is it sustaining your energy. Next, the quality of food. What are you eating when you do eat? Is it nourishing? Does it have mostly plant-based nutrition in it? Do you work to balance your meals? Are you bringing in protein and balancing those carbohydrates? Are your carbohydrates from your plants? Do you eat a lot of fast food? Are you doing things quickly? Are your snacks not so healthy? Give yourself a 1 to 10. So you should have two numbers now from 1 to 10. And we're going to add them all up at the end. The next thing we're going to talk about is sleep. Let's evaluate and come to more awareness about our sleep. How much sleep are you getting every night? Do you just have long day and that's your time and I don't care if I need sleep. I'm going to stay up and thumb through Facebook and just do nothing and let my brain just go buzz rather than go to sleep. So, are you getting enough sleep every day? And do you feel rested when you wake up? Give yourself a 1 to 10 on the sleep. Now, the quality of sleep. When you do wake up, do you still feel tired? Or do you feel rested and great and ready to go? Do you sleep soundly or are you waking up frequently? Are you having difficult dreams? Are you obviously restless because you wake up and you're all twisted up? Give yourself a 1 to 10 on your quality of sleep. So you should have four numbers now. Let's go on to movement and exercise. I want you to rate yourself on 1 to 10 on the quantity of movement and exercise. Ideally, we should move our bodies every day. That's not necessarily realistic in this day and age, but if you give yourself a 1 to 10 on how frequently you exercise, walk, move, get out, stretch, how often do you do that? And give yourself a 1 to 10. And how about the quality of your movement? When you move it, when you're moving, are you enjoying yourself? Is it effective? Is it just, oh God, I just got to lift these weights. I just got to walk. Does it strengthen and energize you? Do you feel real refreshed and is this a really good feeling for you? So on your movement, you should have two numbers that you've given yourself for your quality and quantity and quality of movement and exercise. And finally, well, two more. Physical self-care. Okay. We're all women on here right now that I can see, although men may come on, but women often put themselves aside to take care of others. Are you taking time for your own physical care? This would be grooming, hygiene, checkups. Are you resting enough even during the day? Do you have any pampering routines? Are there things that you're doing for yourself that will help to sustain your good, positive quality of life? Give yourself a 1 to 10 on that. And then also the quality of your physical care. Are you doing it with intention? Is it a relaxing, a restorative kind of thing? Do you really, truly care about your body? Because your mind and your body are connected, they're attached, and you may be doing things for your body, but if your mind is like, you know what, this is just ridiculous, and I'm just gonna try and get through this, and I don't want to go to the doctor, how much quality are you putting into the physical care of your body? So that kind of leads into the last two that we're going to evaluate. Give yourself a number on your emotional and spiritual self-care. How often do you check in with yourself emotionally and spiritually? Are you the last person to care about yourself? Do you care for everybody else first and then say, "Oh, how are you feeling, Marilyn? How did that affect you? How does this life bring you joy? Or how are you feeling today? Are you sad? Are you mad? What's going on? How often do you do that? And do you do it in a way that is with something tangible, like give yourself a time to do it. Like every morning you check in with yourself, or before you go to bed, or you have a break in the middle of the day. And finally, give yourself a 1 to 10 rating on the quality of your emotional and spiritual self-care. And what I mean by that is, how deep do you go? Is it like, yeah, I do my prayers, I say the same thing every day, and God knows what I need, or yeah, this is the meditation I always do, and I've got it in my head, and meanwhile I'm making a list of groceries on the side while I'm supposed to be meditating or whatever. What about the quality? Is it peaceful? Do you support yourself? Are you just are you just going through the motions, or are you really connecting to who you are in your spirit? So I do not want to know what your scores are. These are for you, but I would add up all of them and see where you are in relation to 100 and your holistic wellness journey. My holistic journey includes, like I said before, losing weight. I am a plant-based, organic, hopefully mostly person. I don't like the word vegan because that means that I would eat those fake meat things, and I don't do that. That's processed. I choose not to process food. In fact, I wrote a book. It's right here, Why We Die, How to Live. The book is about it's a myself and a holistic physician, Dr. Felicia Dawson, and a Jamaican herbalist named Oski. We got together and we wrote this book because we wanted to figure out, how did the ancestors keep themselves well, and how did they treat these illnesses that we have today? And what we figured out was, our ancestors did not have the illnesses we had. They did not have cancer, strokes, Alzheimer's. They did not have heart disease, diabetes. These are some of the top 10 reasons that we die today. And the ancestors before us did not have these diseases. They died of things like infectious diseases, like cholera or flu. So what we determined then was a holistic pathway to eating and to living that will help to prevent or even treat some of these top 10 diseases that we die. So it's Why We Die, How to Live. And so I encourage all of us to continue on our own holistic journeys to the best healthy and wealthy person that we can be, because nothing matters if we don't have our health. You know that old saying, if you are healthy, you can wish for anything in the world. But if you don't have your health, you only have one wish. So thank you all so much. Such a blessing to be here.
Wow, that was just absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much. Does anybody have questions?
Oh my gosh, Marilyn, I've never heard your story, so I love it. I love it. The red, white, and blues. I love that even. Oh my gosh.
Hmm.
Did you play more then after your
We
husband?
had a band for a while. We played. I still play a little bit. That's why I liked your song that you all created for the Wellness Revolution. That's very
Oh,
cool. So yeah, I love music. I'm not with that husband any longer, but yeah, we had a band. We were in
nice.
our 20s. I forgive everybody for anything they do in their 20s. That's all I
Oh
have
Yeah.
yeah,
to
for sure.
Been there, done that, right? Love it. You know what really got me too is caregiving is a journey, not an endpoint. And I think, me being a caregiver as well to my mom, and mom being a nurse, and oldest child as well, all that kind of stuff. And it's just like, sometimes you think when parents are gone, your journey's done, but it's not, because
say.
it has to ripple into other people's too, your siblings, your nieces and nephews. We have no children, so nieces and nephews, even the people around me too. And I just love to check in with my friends and coworkers and with them. And I'm always checking in with them. But that question too, when you said, how deep are you going with your spiritual? I am not. I'm just doing the routine, just the motion, go to church, I do all that, but it's like I'm really not asking myself, who is my know thyself, right? I'm really, that is the word this week for me is know thyself. And I've been really getting into that. So I just want to say thank Marilyn so much.
Oh, what a
Did a
blessing you are, Randy Joe. Thank you for taking care of your mom and
yeah,
for all that you do for so many. Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you, ladies. Virgie,
Hi.
welcome.
Sorry I was late. I forgot about it. And then I was checking my email and I saw it. I said, oh my God, it's today. So here I am. But Marilyn, I want to know how to get the book because I have a book that's called How Not to Die. And in different chapters, they have different ailments as to how you not to die from heart attack or different thing. So I would like to get your book as well. So
Oh,
let
well,
me know how
can
to get
can you
it.
get the QR code off the screen? That little
I
QR
don't
code.
I don't see it. No, I don't know how to do that. I
Okay,
haven't
I'll
gotten
tell
that
you what,
advanced
Dr.
yet.
Virgie, you rock my world. I love you so much, and I have so much respect and appreciation. This woman is an amazing dancer, and she does not act her age at all. I will send you the link. I will send you the link to Amazon.
Okay, great. And
Alrighty.
I want you to know that I was taking care of my mom as well, and she passed away in my home. And one tell me as I was taking care of her, she said, Virgin, make sure you take care of yourself. And I did. And when she just before she passed away, she asked me to please don't do like me. She said, I want you to be better with taking care of yourself than I was. So take care of your health. So I promised her I would do that. And that's what I've been doing. And she passed away when she was 85. So I told her I'm going to live to be 100.
Oh, fabulous.
Yes.
Beautiful, Virgie.
Oh,
Thank you so much for sharing that. And you are making your mama smile. You are beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
thank you, Virgie, for sharing that beautiful story. So heartwarming to know that so many of the audience here are taking care of, their loved ones before they transition. And it's quite an honor to hear your stories. Thank you so, so much. Any more questions?
I just want to say how inspiring that was. And really, when you evaluate where you're at, you really just know, yeah, I'm really doing great. And I do, I just look after myself till noon every day, really just swimming and everything. But, it's really just more about how I would help others because I did transform my life in all chapters. And so it was like, what would be the way that you can inspire people? It's these little Zoom meetings that you can set up on different topics because I think a lot of people are really struggling out there for different topics. So you just inspire me with your clarity on what you can help others with, because I think that's something we all can look within and say, what is it in me that I'm really great at helping others with? And then take action. So it's really wonderful.
Thank you, Suzanne, for that heartfelt and beautiful response. That touched me. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you, Suzanne. I've seen you face to face, and knowing where you've come from and how far you've come. Wow, extraordinary. So, and having your, like, some of us have had our own battles with our own health, and overcoming that too, and being the best you can be despite any of the challenges that we had. So this is so inspirational, and your stories do matter, and that leads us right to our next beautiful speaker, Miss Jean, or Mrs. Jean. Are you ready and to share with us about storytelling.
I am, and it's perfectly okay to say Ms. Jean. For some reason, that's what I'm usually referred to, Miss Jean. So
Okay, there
that's
we go.
fine. Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. I am, and thank you so much for having me here. And so, what I want to say right now is lately in the news, there's been so much talk about mental illness, people struggling with loneliness, with depression, anxiety is on the rise. And often people are feeling alone. They feel invisible, like like no one sees them. They're constantly given and they're going, some, not all, but some are going through life major changes, especially women over 50. So I'm Jean Green. I'm a storyteller instructor, as well as a podcast host. In our connection, in our world as people, we need connection with each other. And when the pandemic hit, that was the time that we realized being isolated, how so important having that connection is. And then that is when depression began to rise and anxiety because we were isolated. Sometimes well, even myself sought out a therapist because I had to figure out what was going on in my head. But oftentimes we go to a doctor and they want to give us medication. And if you need it, please get it. But what I have found is storytelling is a natural medicine. As a matter of fact, when I got deeply involved in storytelling, my counselor said to me, "You don't need me anymore. Whatever you're doing with storytelling is healing." And I began to do the research. There have been research at different universities, UC Irvine and other major universities, that show that storytelling is important to relieve us from depression and anxiety. Now, today I'm going to talk more about SNAP storytelling. And you may say, well, what's SNAP storytelling? SNAP storytelling is telling a story from a picture. And there's the letter SNAP. The S is see the moment and look at the photo and remember what was there and why you took it. And then the N is the feeling it brings when you look at it, and then acknowledge the truth that it has, that the photo holds, and pay attention to the message. Because if you look at a picture, just like you're walking down the street and you see something, you'll get a feeling. So, what's that feeling? And why does it matter for mental health? Research shows that reflecting on a photo and telling the stories behind them lowers stress level, improve mood, and create belonging. Our brain even release dopamine. Now, I don't know if any of you ever tried Snap storytelling, but I have found that it really works. And once a month, I host a old Snap happy hour where ladies, every now and then there's a guy that show up, mostly ladies. We come together for fun and entertainment virtually. It's all virtual. Each person shares a picture and they talk about that picture. They share what they were feeling at the time they took that picture, why they're holding on to the picture, who was around them. and what does it mean to them now? And so often, well, not so often, but often, there have been times when there are tears because a release. Yeah, I'm sure maybe you've heard the statement, if it's not revealed, it can't be healed. So oftentimes we hold things inside of us that we are afraid to share because we're afraid someone will say, well, that doesn't matter. Or why do you feel that way? Or, well, that happened to me, so get over it. But that we are all different. And what matters to me deep down inside could also matter to you. So sharing our stories through our pictures start that healing effect. And that dose of dopamine come in and we began to feel better about it. The depression decreases, anxiety slows down. Now, there's another way of doing storytelling. And I heard Marilyn talk about taking care of her mom and Randy Joe. And so if you do a family photo hour, because oftentimes we have stacks of photos, right? We have photos of our grandparents, great grandparents. If we do a family photo hour, we just have family around the table and we pull a picture and talk about the meaning of it. I learned this from my grandmother. I was a wee bit kid. I was 5 or 6 or something. I don't remember exactly. But my grandmother had pictures framed and she had them hung over the mantle and over the door. And I would often see her standing just staring at these pictures. Now, as a kid, I at first it's like, but one day I came in, I don't know why. I asked, I said, Grandma, why are you always looking at those pictures like that? And she began to share with me that she had pictures of her brothers and their children when her brothers left, and as she said, they went away to war. And after they got out of the service, they never came back home, so to speak. One settled in New York, one settled in Upper Tennessee. So she didn't see them again. She said, looking at those pictures bring joy because she remember their childhood. Their mom died when she was 13, and her brothers helped to raise her and care for her. So looking at those pictures brought her joy when she was feeling down and depressed, wanting to see them, but knowing there was not a way other than just communicating through letters. That has carried forward. It unconsciously, I would say, or consciously, but that those moments of watching my grandma buried itself within my spirit. Now, my granddad was an oral storyteller, so then I'm surrounded by both types. But remembering how she would look at those pictures and remembering her explanation, remembering the smile that it brought to her face when she was sharing about her family life. And then she talked about her nieces and nephews. So that brought forward in in our happy hour event. That is also what happened. Ladies bring forward, and it's a healing effect. So healing doesn't always happen in breakthroughs. Most often, it's little small, everyday steps. Looking at a picture, remembering the story. So when you go home, I say to you, pull a picture. If you don't have stacks, we all have pictures on our phone. Pick a picture, look at it. Think about, why did you take that picture? Where were you? Who were you with? And you will begin to remember, you'll hear the sounds, and you will then sometime have the fragrance will come back to you. and it will bring that warmth and that excitement. Even sometimes it's not happy pictures. And at those times, that is when we can heal because we walk through those pictures and the things that went on, things look different now, feel different. So as we go through our day, I would say to you, when you're feeling down, when you're feeling depressed or filled with anxiety, if you're alone, find a picture and look at it. If you were friends, just try it and see what a difference it will make in your connection with each other. Thank you for having me.
That was outstanding. Thank you so, so much. What I got from that was reveal it. Because a lot of times people, sometimes they bury their pain so far deep that looking at that picture, you just kind of like, it tells its own story. And by acknowledging and sharing your story, it's so powerful to the healing parts of our being, because sometimes people feel a lot of pain from their past, but when they have the opportunity to share their story, it can be so healing. In
Yes.
Edmonton, we hosted the Truth and Reconciliation, and this was the opportunity for survivors of the residential schools to tell their stories. And a lot of them had a picture of them going to the school and telling their story. Yes, their tears, there was a lot of tears shed, but that's a part of the healing. So thank you so much for this gift today of speaking about our stories, because when we can share our personal stories, it can become a collective library of wisdom way beyond, what we can get from, books, history books, but we create our own history. So thank you for that. We matter and our stories matter. So thank you so much for that profound message today, Jean. I see
Happiness.
Virgie's got her hand up.
Thank you for that message because I I'm a person who take pictures a lot. I have about 100 photo albums and it is healing, but I didn't really think of it as being healing. But I do know when I would go and look at it, there's different pictures I would look at that made me feel better than I did when I started looking at it. So that's a whole area that I didn't know that you could relate that as far as to mental health or feeling better and things like that. Thank you for your message.
Thank you. You're welcome.
I'll go look at my book more often now.
Yes, do that. It brings so much joy. And one thing I didn't mention is if you have your kids or grandkids around and you share your story, it's legacy. You building legacy. They now remember and they become part of. So sharing it.
It's a shame that because of the digital, we don't print the pictures anymore like we used to. Because I haven't been printing and putting in albums anymore, but I have a whole host of albums.
Fabulous.
Mhm. Thank you.
Marilyn,
Thank you, Jean, for sharing your experience. I love how you connected it to mental health. Your story about your grandmother touched me. I have in the other room, I mean, my parents have been gone for about 4 or 5 years now, but I have in the other room all of the photo albums that we had in our family that my mom kept meticulously. And of course, now we're all on a device somewhere. But those pictures, when we get together as a family, brings so much connection. And that was one of the words that you said about storytelling is it connects us. And it truly does. And we can look at the same old pictures and tell the same old stories. And all it does is connect us deeper. And I love that you brought that out. Thank you for saying that. I would love to know more about your Snap Happy Hour too, and since it's virtual. So let us know about that. Thank you
Oh,
so much.
Snap Happy Hour is, I host that the second Friday of each month at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time.
If you could send us the link after, that'd be great.
Okay. Each month it's a different link, but I will just do the one link and that way it's always there and I'll send it to you each
Sure.
one.
Then we can
Okay,
put it
I'll
in
do
the
that.
poster and everything.
Yes, I'll do that.
Alrighty, Randy Joe.
Jean, thank you so much. When you were talking about that, it's just like I teared up. I have a picture of my dad. I can tear up now. Of him and I sitting in this flower bed. He was just so, he loved planting flowers. We had a restaurant, and on the corner lot was like a little thing where we would just put tiers of flowers. And he was a military guy. So he had his, flagpole. We'd take it down every day, put it away and do all that ritual stuff with him. And I still have that picture in my other office, and it just brings back in this month, will be 25 years he's been gone. So starting the 6th of October, he went into a coma and then passed away on the 24th. So it just stuff like that is like, because he fell and hit his head, and he was an alcoholic, but he was trying to detox himself. And back then, you thought you could do it, right? You didn't have all the medical help 25 years ago. So I just like, oh, that just brings me more joy with that picture that I have saved of him and I. So thank you. Thank you.
Oh, Randy Joe, thanks for sharing that. Such an emotional story. I connect with you in so many levels. My mother's passed, and it's just like, whoa. That picture of her with myself with her rose, and it just
Come back.
touches the heart for
There's
sure. Thank you for sharing. Suzanne.
Okay. Okay, so it's really true that when you write, so I'm just saying every night I just scan what other messages are out there and then I write something. And to me, it's writing that message. And then I always send it to, my friend Robert Phillips. And a typical would be a photo of a cage. Like I look for a photo and I'm saying it can even be family photos that you can post because I like the idea of the group, but this is just a little add on that I'm so excited about what I do. And I'm saying it makes me feel so good to write my message. And so I have a photo of a bird escaping a bird cage. And then it's written as part of the photo that I find when a bird gets free, it doesn't go back for remnants left on the bottom of the cage, rooming. Then I put under it message. Fly high and appreciate all. Live with love. So you're inspiring me. Like I do this and I can send this to different people, but what a great little add on that people can just do that because it doesn't have to go back to the old memories. And I think that's very healing. But to me, this is the inspiring book writing messages that you can really post to your friends and how inspiring we can really get. But mostly at night, that's how I end my day. I just look to see what's out there on Facebook. What are some of the quotes from Rumi? And then I will just revise what really means to me. So it's so healing because I'm actually sharing fear or sorrow or what my topic would be. And then I can Google what's the message. And I'm really just saying that when you write from your inner heart, we can spread it in different ways, and so you inspire me to do that with groups. So really great.
Fantastic. Thank you so, so much. So I just wanted to thank each and every one of you for bringing your inspiration here this morning. I feel the beautiful energy of love and weaving that into the wellness revolution, and how Marilyn brought the whole holistic and the her experience as a nurse of how to live as best you can, even being a caretaker, because at the end of the day we have to take care of ourselves to be our best. And also Jean weaving in her storytelling, so powerful and potent, because every voice matters. And as we transition to our day here, just know that we can make an impact by sharing our stories, our vitality, and our wisdom, because at some point we too shall transition to the spirit world. And what is it that we're leaving behind? The legacy and the love. Anybody else have anything else to encapsulate the day with a message, one sentence or a word to go and experience the beauty of the day? We'll just
Always love yourself, be yourself, and treat yourself, and always celebrate yourself. Live life to its fullest. That's my
fabulous.
message.
Love it. Love it. Oh my God. Today was just amazing. Oh, I just appreciate all you girls, all you ladies, and these guys. If guys are watching the replay, I hope you enjoy too and see. It just takes people like us as makes the world go round, right? All walks of life it takes to make the world go round. And I just love every little tidbit. Every month I look forward to this and the new things I learn. And it just like, it makes me stronger. It makes me a better person. I'm hoping, and I can spread the wealth that I've learned here too. So thank you guys so much. Bottom of my heart.
Yeah.
Anyone else want to share anything? A closing thought?
I just love the way it all connects. It doesn't matter who says what about anything. It all just molds together and becomes, and that was one of the things that Jean brought up in storytelling is the connection. So I love being connected to you all. Thank you for this blessed time together.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
For me, it's just the gratitude that you, oh, yeah, you can hear me. Yeah, I'm not unmuted. Okay, it's just the gratitude that you arrange this once a month and different people come there. And I just say, yeah, I think part of like, I feel so great from setting aside this time on a Saturday morning in Vancouver at 9 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, I'm here. But how wonderful it is, and to tell others to listen to it, because it's just wonderful what you're doing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So I think everybody's spoken. So I just wanted to thank Randy Joe again for all the work she does in putting together the newsletter and also the magazine, and that'll be coming out shortly after this episode. So thank you once again for joining us on this wellness revolution, and go out and have a fabulous weekend and keep shining your light to the world. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Take care, everybody.
Yeah.
Yay! Hip hip
And I
hooray!
it too. So people that are watching the replay, if you want to put in the comment center and you comment space on YouTube, your email, we're more than happy to send you the newsletter that we have too. So yes. So thank
Thank
you.
you, Randy Joe.
Appreciate it.
Yes.
Thank you. Have a good
Great.
day.
Have a great Saturday, everybody.
Right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See you
Bye.
later.
Bye-bye.